Good morning, everyone. It's Tammy, and this is Vlogmas. Goodness, not Vlogmas. I've been doing Vlogmas, but Vlogmas is now over, and today is the 26th of December. So it's been 11 days since my last podcast, and I didn't write down what number that one was, so that was number 12. So this one is number 13. I need to write that down on my little sheet so that I can put it in the notes. Number 13. Oh, whoops, except for I'm not writing it on the right spot. Whew. So as you can imagine, the day after Christmas, things are still a little bit wonky. And that reminds me of a book that I got for Katie. It was called The Wonky Donkey. If you guys have not seen the YouTube video, type in Grandma reading Wonky Donkey or something like that. And oh my gosh. It is hilarious because the book is funny itself and she can't get through it without laughing, and it's hilarious. It's just hilarious. You've got to try it. So anyway, Christmas has come and gone, and it was good, and my favorite present was hand knit by my daughter, and it is this beautiful scarf that she did with some fuzzy yarn from Hobby Lobby. And she just does garter stitch because that's what she knows and likes right now. And not just, but that sounds bad, but she made these little pom-poms. I just think it's adorable. The only problem with it is that this yarn sheds like crazy. So I'm not putting it on this shirt because this shirt has glitter on it. Has a deer. And it has glitter on it, and it sticks to everything. So even knitting, I'm like trying to be careful so that I don't get it. And it also has it on the sleeves. It's very interesting. I don't know. It's the first time I've worn it, and it may be the last time I wear it. I'm not sure, but oh well, it's all right. And Katie made, I think, 8 of those, and she's still making 2 more. She not just like that, of course, but she wrote everyone a sweet note and made everyone a beautiful scarf. She made one for Dennis, me, her brother, her dad's girlfriend, her stepsister, her stepbrother, her stepsister's boyfriend, her boyfriend. She's making one for her boyfriend's parents. So she hasn't made those yet. She's working on those now because she won't see them until after Christmas. Well, it's after Christmas now, but she won't see them for a little bit. And speaking of, I think her boyfriend leaves for Hawaii today. His dad is a pilot, and he gets to travel sometimes, standby when they're going places. And his dad goes to Hawaii, to Paris, and to London. Isn't that just awesome? I'm so happy for them. That's so cool. So they're taking a family trip to Hawaii for just a few days, and then coming back. And David, Katie's boyfriend, I was going to say the kids, but Katie and her boyfriend David have to be back at school on January 2nd because they are taking a class during J term, which is January term, and you take a condensed class. You get full credit, but it's done in a lot shorter time, and you do class every day. So it's kind of a good opportunity for them. And I am drinking my coffee still in my knit cup. I just love this cup. I just wash it and use it again. Wash and wear. And this is French vanilla. I'm almost out of my coffee in this cup, not of my coffee in the kitchen. And I also have my unicorn cup with my Crystal Light in it, which I lovingly just call Kool-Aid. And this one, I think, I have strawberry orange banana. I was thinking I had grape, but this is strawberry orange banana. Those are my 2 favorite kinds. So, thanks so much for joining me. Welcome back if you're been here for a while, and welcome if you're new. I really appreciate you watching, and I try to do this video with my knitting to kind of show you guys what I've been working on, what I've finished, what I'm working on now, what I'm hoping to work on, all those kind of fun knitting things. It's just so much fun, and it's cool to put it all in one place. Now I do haul videos in between because I like to highlight the specific shops that I get stuff from. So if you see something that you like, there's probably a haul on either the yarn or the bag or something like that, and I'm really bad at remembering exactly where things are from, so I apologize for that. But let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I didn't even tell you, I don't even know if I introduced myself. My name is Tammy. I am TT.Scraps. I have been knitting for a little over a year, and I am still kind of in the fundamentals of knitting, where and I should probably move this down just a little. Ooh. Where I do hats, scarves, shawls. I'm just started with sweaters. I made Katie a sweater for Christmas, and I made it a short-sleeved one. I showed it, I think, on the last video, and it didn't fit very well. It was not a very good fit. So I'm probably going to just frog that one and start with a different sweater. There is a pattern, I think it's a free pattern. If it's not very expensive, but it's called Peggy Sue on Ravelry, and it's really cute, and I think that she would really like that. So I'm going to pick out some yarn for that and make that for her sometime between now and next year. I'm thinking I'm not going to put a limit, and I'm definitely not going to make knitting a struggle for me, because I just want this to be a fun time that I can just knit and have fun and enjoy, and it's a stress reliever, as is sometimes these YouTube videos and stuff. So that's what that's about. And I live in Indiana, where we get all 4 seasons. Right now it's winter, but it is not too cold right now. You never really know. Between now and March is when we get the most snow. I would honestly, probably late January, early February is our snowiest time. We get ice though, which is bad, and that's probably coming soon. But I will say that right now the sun is shining, and I don't know what the temperature is, but I do have the window open a little bit behind me because it gets really hot in my little corner of the living room, which is where I like to sit and knit. This couch is like an L-shaped couch, and it's fun to just sit back in this corner and enjoy. I put my legs up or I stretch them out. I mean, I have all the choices, and it's fun, and then I have plenty of room for all of my stuff. So yeah. Oh, you know what? I have my Hamden sweater on as a finished object for here, so I don't think I showed it last time. Let me grab it really quick because I see it over here. Hopefully you guys won't fall. I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know that I showed it. So here it is, and it smells really good because I washed it in some of my tuft woolens, and I used the sugar plum, and this is it. And it looks really little. Maybe it looks little to me, but that's because Katie is little. But see how big this is? I don't need to make this so big. I think and maybe I can still try to close this up. I mean, I know that I can close it up, but I don't know if it'll fit any better. It's not horrible, but it's not exactly what I wanted, so we'll see. I'll see if I can manage it a little bit, but I mean, it was nice to gift to her, and she really appreciates it, but it's just not exactly what I wanted. And the yarn is not my favorite. It's the Lion brand Pound of Love yarn, which is fine for probably smaller projects, and I would probably even like it for maybe a scarf or those little animal things that people make. I think it would be fine for those, but I think that for a full sweater, it's not the best. It's acrylic, which is fine, but and it's softish, but it splits really easily, and it's just not fun to work with. So doing a big project, at least in my opinion, it makes it difficult to get through because I don't want to use that yarn. Whereas other projects I've found, I really like the yarn, and I want to go back and I want to work on a project just because I like the feel of the yarn in my hands. It's not the case with that. So that's why I say smaller projects would probably be better for that. Speaking of yarn, I did make the Cooler Side of Warm by Espace Tricot. This you can find for free on Ravelry. It has a split seam here, and it is a cowl, and I used Woolfolk Luft yarn for it, and it is amazing. It is so nice. So nice. And I think it's really pretty. And it's really, really warm. It's a chunkier yarn. I would say it's chunky. And it's very long, so I mean you could even make it longer or shorter or whatever. And then I like this split because it just kind of just gives it a little bit more character. It doesn't have it on this side, it just has it on that side. I mean you could even like bring it down a little bit if you wanted to. I think it's super cute. I love this. I love it, I really do. So I'm excited to wear this with things that it would go with a little better than a deer shirt. Not that there's anything wrong with the deer shirt, although I do wish instead of it having all this glitter on it, I wish it had buffalo plaid. Wouldn't that be cute? But it has, and it's like sequins. It's not glitter, it's sequins, which could easily fall off, and there's even some string hanging on it. You probably can't see it, but it looks like fishing wires holding it together, so kind of a weird shirt, but festive. So that is my cooler side of warm, and I would be happy to make more of these. I've even kind of thought, ooh, I wonder if I should make some of those for Christmas presents. Now the luft yarn is not inexpensive, and it takes 3 skeins to do this, and it's about $17 a skein. So you're looking at a lot, but at least to me it's a lot, especially for a shawl or a cowl. But it has a really nice halo to it, and I'll tell you some more about the cost here in just a little minute, so remember that. Well, you don't have to remember, it's right there. And then I also finished another cowl. I did this one that's called the Rhenish Amber. I call it the cowl with cables, but it's spelled R-H-E-N-I-S-H Amber, and it is in my Ravelry. Everything that I'm doing is in my Ravelry project area, so if you have questions you can check it out there. And I use the Malabrigo Rios Pearl 10 for this. I have not blocked it yet, so it's not completely blocked down here. And I think that the pattern called for this ribbing on the bottom to be, or is it ribbing? Yes, it's kind of ribbing, to be longer, but I didn't want it to be that long, and I was almost out of yarn, so I just cut it short, and literally I didn't even have enough yarn left to save. So this is 1 full skein, and it is a rather long cowl, so you could make it less long and put the ribbing on the bottom if you wanted to. Like you could make the ribbing, but I don't think it looks bad, and I think that once I block it, it'll lay a little nicer. But I really like the cable that's just in that one little area. It just has 3 cables, kind of looks like braids going up, and you can put them, you know, wherever you wanted them. If you wanted them on one side or the other side, or you could even put it up completely on the side or right in the front if you wanted. However you want to wear it, it's yours, so do what you want. But I really like it, and I think it's very nice, and it's super easy to wear. And Malabrigo Rios is one of my favorite yarns too, so this was really fun to work with, really easy to work with. I love this yarn. I can't say enough great things about it. It's very stretchy and elasticy, and it just knits up so beautifully. And this was in the color, I think I said, but Pearl 10 is the name of this one, and it is again Malabrigo Rios. And there are the cables. I think you can see that all right. And it's like a dark gray color, and they just have such beautiful colors. Oh, I just found a little yarn over that I made that I didn't mean to make. Oops. I hope it's a yarn over and not a drop stitch. Yep, it looks like a yarn over. Oh well. What can I say? Knit happens, huh? So those are my finished objects, except for I also made 2 ear warmers, and I used the braided cable headband pattern. Again, you can find that on my Ravelry project page by Rachel Jacks. and it's just ear warmers for Katie and her roommate for when they are exercising outside. Katie said she'd like to have one, so I honestly, it took just a couple hours to make each one, and she loves them. And I did them in a, actually I think I did them in the same yarn that this is in, so it's very soft and snuggly, and it's kind of nice that it's not going to be up against any clothing because it will shed, but I think it'll probably shed in their hair a little bit, but oh well. She picked out the yarn. She really liked it. It was in the color Buttercup. It was like a light yellow. It's really pretty, and she really likes it, so that's great. Okay, so I wanted you guys to remember the yarn, and this is again the Woolfolk Luft yarn that I love. And when I was looking at a website called Wool Warehouse, and I think it's the UK one, so you go to woolwarehouseuk.com, and they will ship to the States, or I don't know if they'll ship to your country, but they do ship to the States, which is where I am. And they have some fabulous prices and some really great yarn, and they have a lot of the Drops brand. I don't know if they have all of it, but I think that you can get Drops from lots of places, and I think it's a tried and true like brand that's been around for a long time. But one of the yarns that was on sale and may still be on sale is the Drops Air. All of their alpaca was on sale, and this is a medium thick blown yarn made of baby alpaca and merino wool. And let's see, it says that it is 65% alpaca, 28% polyamide, and 7% wool. And it says to use a 5mm needle with it. And this is a 50-gram ball, which comes with 164 yards. And I have enough to make a sweater, so I am going to be working on the Turtle Dove sweater from Espace Tricot again. I love their stuff. They're very stylish in my opinion. I just love it, and they're super great. They have a podcast too that you should check out. But this is the Drops Air, and it is beautiful. I mean, it stitches up very nicely. I don't know. It has kind of the same effect with the halo. It might have a little bit more halo, but not much. And I think I'm using a little bigger needle for this. That's what it called for. So I'm using a little bigger needle, so the gauge is a little bit different. But this is a very economical alternative to the Woolfolk. Now I would say that I prefer the Woolfolk. It's a little softer and it's not so catchy, where I have really dry hands, so I like my cuticles and stuff get really dry, and I get little hangnails, and this will catch on stuff. So this yarn is a little more catchy than the Woolfolk, but the cost is incredibly less expensive than the Woolfolk. So to me, especially since I'm just beginning sweaters and all of that, I mean, even if I wore this sweater 4 times a year, like, because how often do you really wear your sweaters? You know, I mean, there are some that you wear a lot, but let's say I have 6 or 7 sweaters. I don't wear a sweater every day, so that would be once a week maybe, so that's 4 times a month. And it's cold here, probably cold enough to wear a sweater like this 3 months out of the year, let's say. So that's 12 times. Is that right? 4, 8, yeah, 12 times a year. So I mean, do I want to spend $300 on a sweater that I would wear 12 times in a year? And that's pushing it. I don't really think I'd wear it 12 times. Or do I want to spend $30 for the same look? And that's kind of where I'm going. I mean, there are some things that I might want to splurge for and really go all out and get some luxurious yarn, and this is very comparable though, in my opinion. Now I am a nobody, so you guys will have to make up your decision, make up your mind for yourselves and decide what you like. And this doesn't knit quite as nicely. I don't know, if you look closely, you can see some bumps in my knits, and it's just, now it hasn't been blocked or anything, but this hasn't either. And there aren't as many bumps. And it could be my knitting, I don't know, but I mean, I'm still just knitting. and this is just knit. So I don't know that it's me, but one could argue, and I would be fine with that argument because I don't know enough to but this is actually going to be the turtleneck to my turtle dove, and I'm going to make it about 6 inches. The pattern calls for 4, so the pattern calls for me to be about done, but I'm going to go a little bit more just because I love turtlenecks. I know I'm one of the weird ones, and I like it when they kind of bunch, you know, like that. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm going to make it a couple inches longer than it says so that I can kind of bunch it, and then hopefully this will be a nice sweater for myself. I'm a little intimidated by it and it makes me a little nervous, but that is definitely something that is on my needles. I casted this on, I think, the 23rd, so kind of exciting, and we shall see how that goes. That is my first cast on. I am also working hard on a baby boy sweater. One of you guys told me about a pattern called Little Coffee Bean or something like that. Yeah, by the Brown Stitch. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, and you can see how it's striped, and she said that she doesn't always stripe it. She'll make them plain, and she said she's used this pattern lots and lots of times, and it's tried and true, and I thought, ooh, well, I'd like to try that. So if you guys remember, I had used the Sunset Malabrigo yarn, and I frogged it because I stitched the pattern incorrectly somehow, and I still don't really know how I did it, but I must have done it incorrectly because I just didn't have, I had one sleeve marked, and I think it was just my marking. I think I had enough around, but I didn't make the raglan decreases in the right spots because you do it according to where you put your stitch markers, and because I missed a stitch marker, I missed a raglan decrease, which therefore made me miss a whole sleeve. And now, since I've done these a few times, I would know better, but then when I first made it, I didn't. So I just frogged it, and I'm using the same yarn to work on this cute little pattern. And so it starts up here. This is going to be the neck, and then it will be a cardigan, and it's just too cute. I just love this color too. So I am just at the point now that I'm going to break for the sleeves, and I could do a long sleeve. I don't know if I will or not. There's also a short sleeved, and sleeves still get me, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes when I'm going. But I do love working with this Malabrigo Rios yarn. It is wonderful. I have some fuzz in my mouth from the air, I think. So this is a fun knit that I am working on at the moment. Well, not at the moment, but at this time. And then I'm also working on my Christmas cast on, and I am super excited about this. This is called the Weekender. No, it's not. It's called February something. Hold on. It's a free pattern as well. February Lady Sweater. And I just think it is gorgeous. And this is my Christmas cast on, and I am using Malabrigo Rios English Rose for this. I just love this color, and I love, like I said, this yarn. So I am working right now on, it's a top-down sweater, so I'm just doing the collar part. Oh, good. I thought I saw a misstitch, but I don't. But I don't know if you guys can see like how elasticy this yarn is. It's just fabulous. So it has like garter stitch, and then it goes into like a lacier pattern down here, and I'm just about to get to the lacier pattern. Well, not just about to. I'm about halfway done with the garter before I get to the lacier pattern. So I'm excited about that, and I have my sweater's quantity of that as well. So I am super excited, working on 2 sweaters for myself. Crazy, but exciting. And then I think that's the only, oh no, that's not true. That is so not true. I have my dreidel that I'm also working on. This is a shawl that I've showed you guys before. I don't have the, I don't know that it's even a written pattern. I mean, it is a written pattern, but do I look at it on my iPad? I might. But this is a shawl, and I am at 353 stitches across. So this isn't a joke. This is one that when I have like a half an hour to do a row, I will pick this up and do a row if I'm feeling like it. So this one's kind of been put a little bit on the back burner just because it's slow moving. I'm getting to the point that I'm getting done though, and there is one little section here of lace pattern with the yarn overs, and I'm really hoping that that blocks out a little nicely because it almost looks like it's out of place. I can't figure it out. I do know that I have a written pattern of that. What did I do with it? I usually keep them in my bag, but oh, here it is. Okay. So it does have one little section of the lace. Oh, here's a better picture. And that's all that it asks for, is the one section of lace. And I'm contemplating adding another just because the one kind of almost seems out of place. I don't know. It's very pretty. And I think I'm almost getting to the point that I'm done. But you can see the lace pattern is only from here to here. So it's not a long section of lace at all. That's why I'm kind of going, I don't know if I should add another one. And my colors weren't very contrasty, but I kind of like it that way. I think I did all right with the colors. So that's been on my needles for quite a while now, but I mean, it's an enjoyable knit. It's the Malabrigo Rios yarn that I'm using, and it's fun to knit. It's just I'm on such the long part that it's difficult to keep going with it. It's not difficult. It's just not my. It's a kind of boring knit now, so I'm not like in like my favorite part. So that one kind of gets pushed aside. And I also got my bag here. Maybe I'll just pull it over. I have this fun bag that I use when I'm like traveling overnight somewhere. But I thought, you know what? Why don't I use this as a bag and put my bags in it and put some of my knitting stuff. So I have like a magnifying mirror, and I have my gleaner, and I have a sock that I'm working on. And I have my lotions and notions and all of that in here, as well as my project bag, so that oh, and here's the Peggy Sue. This is the one that I want to make for Katie. Really cute. And then I'm also deciding to maybe keep a pair of mitts on the needles, so I'm still working on that. And then I have a bunch of patterns here that I'd like to start working on. So I have patterns to go, patterns everywhere. But yeah, it's fun. So I think that's, so far I'm getting used to this. I even have a little light that I can use. So far I'm getting used to having the bag, and that way it's easy to clean up too. Like if somebody's coming over or whatever, I can just take my bag and put it somewhere, as opposed to 18 different project bags. Now that doesn't mean I still don't spread out, because look, I still have some notions here, and I have other project bags that I've just kind of thrown around. But the concept is there, the idea. And I think it's all right. I think I'm doing okay with it. Did I show you this already? Yes, that is the Sunset yarn. And my dreidel. I'm going to put that back in my Steve Madden. And then I have my Sunset shawl. What is this one called? Sunset Shawl by Joji Locatelli. And it is just a gorgeous shawl. And last time we talked, I had taken it to my local yarn store because I needed some help with it. And again, I'm using Malabrigo Rios because that is so much fun to work with. And I needed some help with it. I wasn't sure how to do the next step, but I got the help I needed, and I am well on my way to finishing this shawl. I'm halfway through, and I'm just now putting this edging on. And it is just so pretty. I do have a hole here that is not supposed to be here that I will need to repair, but just because I forgot to pick up, because if you notice over here, you have to pick up the shawl part that you've already done with the part that you're doing, and I missed a row here, so I can easily pick that up and fix that, I think, so as an afterthought. But yeah, I am well on my way, and I'm excited. This is actually a really fun knit. It was hard to figure out. I needed help. I could not figure out what in the world she was telling us to do, but once I got it, it clicked, and now I have it, and it is a lot of fun, and I am enjoying this knit. I haven't worked on it for a little bit because I was excited about getting some sweaters on, but I might do some of that today just to get that going. And that is all that I am working on at the moment, I believe. Let me look at my notes. Oh, I'm putting this in here. What is this one? Oh, that's the baby. I'm awful at putting things back in their bags after I show them to you guys. And I like to have the pattern with the stuff so it's easily accessible when I need it. It's right there. I think that there's another one here. Oh yeah, that's the February sweater that I'm working on. Good grief. Okay, so there's that. So I have that in this project bag, and I'm going to put that back in my Steve Madden bag. And look at my notes. Let's see here. Turtle Dove, the dreidel, oh, the messenger shawl. I am still working on that, but I have not made any progress, and I don't even have it in this room. I've kind of stopped working on that for the moment. The sunset and the coffee bean. So the coffee bean pattern is by Elizabeth Smith. The dreidel is by Teresa Hawkins, and the sunset is by Joji Locatelli, and this turtle dove is by Espostrico, and they can all be found on Ravelry. And I believe all of those, no, the dreidel one is a paid one, but I believe the rest are free ones. The messenger is not. Oh, the sunset's not either, so no, forget that I said that. So stash enhancement. I don't really have anything to show you right now, but be on the lookout for some more haul videos, because I did place another order with Wild Indian Fiber for some more Malabrigo Rios, just because I am in love with that yarn. I also placed an order with Hobium again, and I also placed an order for a couple project bags, and I found some Miss Babs yarn that I really liked as well, so that's going to be coming. And I have gotten quite a few patterns since the last time that we talked, and I'm trying to still queue things up. I'm bad at that, and I'm kind of I love to get all the patterns, but it doesn't mean that I'm stitching them all. I can't stitch as fast as I can purchase the patterns, so I need to lay low on that and work on finishing projects, or starting and finishing. It's okay if I start them and just have them on the needles. I don't have any problem with that, but I need to finish some, so, and get my queue down, because I have about 105 things queued at least, and there's no way that that's not the order I'm doing them in or any of that, so I need to get a little bit better with that. And I am working on my planner to keep track of some of that and to kind of try to help me plan, at least I'm hoping. And that leads me to another planner video, or another planner that I got, and I will show that as soon as I get it. But just, I don't even know the name of the company that I got it from, but it helps keep track of projects. So I will let you know, and I'll definitely show you guys, and I'll let you know what I think of it, and maybe that's something that you guys would be attracted to too, because it helps keep track of your projects, and then also you can keep track of projects that you're working on. You could even like cut a little piece of the yarn and put it in there. I'm kind of excited about that, because I like to know what I made, and Ravelry is great, but I love pen and paper, so that's a good thing for me. So then the last thing that I have on my list to share are my faves, and I thought that I would just highlight a podcast. Most of the time when I do a podcast, I would like to highlight at least another podcast that I'm enjoying. That's what I'm thinking right now. Now I might get to a point that I run out of podcasts to share, But one that I'm really enjoying right now is the Chelsea Pearls, and you can find them on YouTube. Just search for Chelsea Pearls, and it's made up of a dynamic duo of Miriam and Christina. And Christina owns the shop called the Chelsea Pearls, and they are in Red Bank, New Jersey. And I always want to, in my head, I always say Red Bank, Maryland, but it's definitely New Jersey. And Christina's husband, he plays a part in their podcasts. His name is Mike, I guess. Actually, I think his name is Tad. I don't really know, but he goes by Red Bank Mike, so I don't know what his story is or why he has two different names and why they call him Red Bank Mike. I don't know. There's probably a video that tells you, but they have several videos and I have not watched all of them. So lucky me, I still have some that I can go and watch. But I think that you guys would enjoy them. They're fun, and she also makes some yarn. I've not tried her yarn yet. It's on my wish list. Maybe I will one day, but yeah, I think it's fun and it's a good podcast. It's worth a view, and see if you might like it too. So I guess that's everything that I have. I did order Katie some pom-pom makers because I know that she has enjoyed making some pom-poms, and I didn't have good scissors to use, so I also ordered us both a set of scissors. Joann's had a 50% off or 70% off sale, I think Christmas Eve, so that's when I purchased all of that. It hasn't arrived yet, but I doubt that I will show you the pom-pom maker or the scissors because those are things that I might do a haul when I get the Joann stuff, but other than that, I probably won't show them again on this vlog anyway, because it's not, you know, it's nothing too exciting. But the pom-pom makers are the Clover brand ones, and that's the ones that I have, and I really like them, so I got the same set for her. And then the scissors are, it was just a 3-pack of like Fisker's scissors, but I thought that that would be good. And there was a smaller one, and then a larger one, and then a large one. So small, medium, and large, I guess, in the pack, and it was like $6 for the pack of 3. So I got us both one of those, and yeah, I think that's about it. I don't even think I ordered any yarn on that. I've been trying to be good, and my word of the year for 2019 is resist, and it's not deny, it's resist. So if I don't want to spontaneously think of something and be like, oh gosh, I need to have this, or what's that called, like if you're, oh gosh, it keeps fleeting from my head. Like you do this at the grocery store a lot, where you go and you didn't know you needed something, or you didn't even really want something, but because it was there and you were there, you just picked it up. Impulse buying. I don't want to do that with yarn and stuff. I have too much of it already, and I have more than I think I will use in my lifetime. But that's what I've kind of told my friends and kids, that I can't die until I use all my yarn, so I'm going to be around for a while. So I just need more hands. And I asked Santa for another pair of hands, but I didn't get it. Oh, and that reminded me of another funny that we saw. Katie and I were at this little store, and it had a sign, and it said something like, "Dear Santa, I'd like a small waistline and a large paycheck. Please don't mix them up like you did last year." I thought that was funny. So yeah, and I have ham for days left, and the macaroni and cheese is almost gone. Some green bean casserole, cheese. So I still have some shrimp. So we got lots to eat here. So if you're in Indiana. But thank you so much, and I hope that you guys have happy knitting, and it's fun to chit chat, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.